top lane, you have double magic damage, so it's very easy for Sylas to itemize with Merc Treads and just have good runes out the gate. Bot lane is going to take a lot of time to come online, so things aren't really lining up for the Elise. The Irelia is also going to probably be hard-pressed to have a good itemization path this game.
Haru yesterday really making a case for why you pick Elise because of her ability to just totally dominate a lane. We'll see if it can happen here once again as we are back onto the Rift for game number 2. APK versus T1.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
So, yeah. It's okay. You know, he could be better. And so, I don't know.
Well,
LS, you okay?
I'm totally fine.
Are you back?
I don't know what keeps happening. My microphone disconnects randomly. I am using a new mic today.
You are?
I am.
And maybe that's why you don't sound like a walkie-talkie today.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that, Valdez. And right now, in this game, looks like the junglers are both going to be starting on the same side of the map. So the Trundle, he has no obligation to be anywhere. And you can see what ended up happening. Irelia was sent top lane with the Ignite. So a lot of pressure is going to be on cover. And I really like what Canna just did. He went over, he placed that ward. He's not showing yet, so that they don't know where Ellim started. And this is going to conceal Trundle's path, and it's going to, in theory, allow Trundle to actually just go on for virtually a full clear. The other thing about that ward is that it denies Elise's ability to be a full-on sinner and just try to make her way up to top lane off 2 or 3 camps and go for a gank, which is kind of important when you have that Ignite top laner. You need to get them an advantage early on or find some sort of a way to provide enough pressure to grant an easy reset, because playing down teleport, you can easily fall behind very quickly.
Absolutely, and that's why I was talking about coming into this game. I think Flawless is going to have to be an early presence. Now, that doesn't mean he has to stand in the top lane and sit there, but it does mean that he is going to have to do a lot more than he did in game number 1, because he absolutely got dominated by Ellim. And look at this. Look at the pathing that he's taken. It's a secret that he's here. And now he is going to be able to just slowly waddle up into the lane and keep Canna safe from any kind of dive.
And you can see Flawless really trying to just poke Ellim. Now, the really good thing about this for APK, if you are an APK fan, is cover is getting all of the solo XP. So Flawless wasn't in range, and I mean, there was no minions for him to even share XP with, but Ellim did share a lot of experience, and I don't know what Flawless is doing. He does win the smite. Azir does have priority. He manages to get the golems, but then he's going to run away, so he is stunting his own tempo, and Canna takes a really heavy trade, missing a lot of HP, has the biscuit as well as 2 control corrupting potions. And I think that Cover and Flawless really want to push the issue here. Ellim, he's going to come over now, hug the turret with Canna, and just make sure that he can't get dove. And in doing so, it is still a victory.
Oh, speaking of which, coming on in here, getting low. He's going to get flashed on now. Dodging that cocoon. Ellim is playing this really well. He's going to smite, and they're going to turn this one around. I don't think there's anything that Flawless can do. He's going to be on the run here. He will have to try to cocoon and burst one of them down, but I don't know what he's got going on here. He's going to be hit by the Sylas, and down he will go. Another 2-on-2 victory for T1 in this game.
And the amount of holy water present in top lane for T1 right now is just fantastic. This is 2 games in a row that top lane has just gotten so far ahead so early on. And we're going to take another look at that replay. Valdez, I don't even think he dodged the cocoon. Flawless just shot it in a direction where nothing was. I mean, it really looked like he was trying to hit oxygen. And
there's a
if
lot
you
of
look
that.
at it with that perspective, you're looking at a champ.
We're going on the ship. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to re-watch the replay. So why don't you break it down for us, Larry?
All right, well, Canna takes a very unfortunate trade, but managed to live. Cover not able to follow up, got the ignite out. Look at Flawless. Island was just clicking down, and Flawless just whips the cocoon, and then commits it to this anyway, just like the Rek'Sai and Jarvan situation from game number 1. And Canna able to just pick up the kill right there, has the blue buff on Sylas. Seeker's arm guard on the recall. This is a pretty unfortunate situation. Now, the one upside, however, is that Cover is up a little bit over 20 CS, and that is mitigating some of the advantage that Canna has. Cover's also ahead in the experience department, and they are, honestly, this Flawless is sinning right now.
He's a big-time sinner. A lot of Elise players are. It's just in their nature. You can't blame them. And Secret's coming up here, too. They're like, you know what? 2-on-2 is not our thing. How about 3-on-2? And
well, I don't know what Secret's doing. What? Wait, what?
He's really here. He's going for the dive. Just wait. Here we go. He's going to flash the wall.
Okay, all right. Well, they're going to use the Ornn teleport.
Okay, well, we have Canna in a pretty rough spot. Actually, Ellim it was. And that's going to be the double kill underneath the turret and with the TP from the Ornn. That's actually a successful dive where they take 2 members.
All right, well, that actually worked out. I was completely whiffing on the Ornn teleport coming in as well in top lane. And so, without Ornn, that is definitely a little bit different. They're able to trade kills there. Very, very surprising. But they had so many members top lane to make that play work, and it ended up working out. They denied Canna a lot of experience. He's still level 5. Ellim, obviously level 5 himself. Elise is trying to make the most of a very unfortunate early game. But meanwhile, Faker in mid lane, he is up quite a lot in the CS department. Trundle now going to be on the blue buff, probably going to give that over to Faker, who has a Sapphire Crystal and double dagger right now. Cover just trying to soften up the minions, provide a way to get all of those Irelia stacks, and then maybe look for a trade. He's also an entire level ahead of the Sylas, and this is a byproduct of all of the shared XP that Trundle had with Sylas in top lane, as well as the unfortunate timing of the death.
Yeah, he's having a really rough time. Nice little trade there, but as you mentioned, the lane state not looking great, but he's looking to turn it around now, but the stun going to land onto Canna. Who's going to pick it up? It will be Canna, as Cover will misplay in the trade, not expecting that much damage to be able to come out from Canna, as he sees it there as, okay, Canna, you have stayed a little bit too much. Can Ikssu actually get him here? He's going to move away from the wall. Kingslayer will be fine to get him out of that one. And there you have it.
Yeah, really, really surprising that the Ornn rotates up to top lane. He doesn't have the Ornn ultimate, so there's no universe that he can ever actually kill Sylas. Meanwhile, Faker shoved in mid lane. They're going to get a Cloud Dragon is the first Drake of the game. I know that we talked about this yesterday, that generally it can be pretty good to pick up first. Infernal's going to be the second. And if you're a T1 fan, you're completely fine with either Ocean or Mountain to come up next. Probably a much bigger fan of Ocean, just because your champions don't really build a whole bunch of resistances. Obviously, you do get the Zanya's Hourglass, but Azir, MF, not really itemizing anything like that. Trundle, he is going tank, so Mountain isn't the end of the world, but you don't really need it against the sustain fight of APK. As Rift Herald is looking to get picked up, and it's happening at such an awkward timing. You can see there's minions in mid lane that are just going to their doom. This is gold and XP that APK is missing out on. So even though they got some XP and gold back from the Rift Herald, there's still a loss. We'll see what they can end up doing with it. This is the replay from a couple of moments ago. Teleport comes in from Ornn, and it almost ends up being able to trade.
탑 올라온다 이거. 너도 윈무빙했어 이번에. 이거 주고 용 봐야 될 것 같아. 탑 주고.
강가 조심해라. 강가
늦긴 했어 이거. 탑 빼야 돼 이거 이번에 아마.
일단 아랫게 봐주러 갈게.
탑 1대1
이거 보자 이거 우리가.
오케이. 아, 될것 같은데?
카이사 보조와 카이사 보조와.
I think he was
That
saying
was
that
1v1.
Faker was saying that top needs to back away or that he needs to back or something. I don't know, maybe I was misinterpreting that, but either way, Canna immediately was like, no, I got the solo kill, and he ends up taking him out.
That would be so funny if Faker's F keys, he's actually telling the top laner, like, no, that's a bad trade, or, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, he's like watching while he's autoing the minions.
Well, that is one of the underappreciated things, that if you are a professional player and you do get comfortable enough at moving at that speed with your screens, F keys really can help. Like, you can add input to lane states and maybe even recognize that something might be off. And you can also use it to get reads maybe on the enemy jungler if you're not getting any reads in your own lane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear how you know, communicative they are as a team, at least, regardless of what was being said. And yeah, it's definitely widening that gap. Even though Canna was able to get that solo kill, still is about 50 CS ahead for the Irelia. And we have a spider up there in the top side again, so definitely trying to push the issue. Will they drop the Swift Herald? It looks like the answer is yes.
They definitely do seem a bit indecisive with what they're doing, and even after all of this early game stuff, a lot of that gold advantage for APK really is coming from top lane. They do manage to get the Rift Herald, plate gold. Again, the leash range, I think it's 2,000 or 2,500. As Canna, with Ellim here, looking to do a trade. Hybrid, not being forced to use either his flash or heal yet. Lots of damage did come out, though. And honestly, this is a much more stable early game as here we
now
go.
They're going for it, but he hit the spider with his leash there. They're trying to burst down Flawless, but Canna is not going to be able to get in range there as Elise kills Elise on the scoreboard. Ellim not going to be able to do it either. This time it's APK who strike back with 2 kills.
And this is really crucial for APK to be getting the victories on the Irelia, trying to have her accelerate and get really far ahead, because Blade of the Ruined King is going to be completed on this recall. It's a massive power surge, and it can really help them potentially win this upcoming Infernal Drake with how far ahead the Irelia is. And it's potentially problematic in the later stages of the game. Now, obviously T1, they have a lot of wave clear in their team composition, and they scale so much better than APK, so it's definitely not the end of the world. However, with the tower falling this early on, this is kind of bad news for cover, and I'll explain why after this replay. As Valdez, you pointed out, Canna, he just gets locked up, unable to follow.
Yeah, he tried to turn into Elise and repel up, but it was too late.
And Ellim
아
not
트런드 탑이야 트런드 탑이야 트런드 탑이야 트런드 탑이야
이라이 빨리 해줄게. 이라이 빨리
야
해줄게.
그럼 야 아지르 좀 빨라 아지르 좀 빨라 아지르 좀 빨라
아,
볼게 너네
빠질게
saying that it's
빠질게
really
이거
fast.
탑이네 탑이네 봐줘야 돼 이거
괜찮아. 자, 일로
The really surprising thing to
야
me is that
아지르는
their
아랫
global
무빙이었는데
potion was
이제부터는 안
caught
보이거든? 나 얘 피가 봐줘야 돼
50%
바텀도
through
봐줘야
this
됐어
trade. Elise was so low on
아지르 아지르
HP.
안 보여 아지르 웬만하면 바텀 무빙 쪽이었는데 집 간 걸 수도 있어
Obviously have strawberry ice cream in the fridge, and I'm gonna eat it between series now.
Okay, wait. We have the game, and we're going to see. Do not ult him. Okay, good.
Oh, Canna just didn't even ult. Well, now the game is
Ellim
forever
got
changed.
Ellim got away. They didn't kill
Changes
him.
everything. Look at him strutting away. He's like,
Yeah, he's like, okay. This is awkward. Should I go back to base?
that is a really cool skin. Actually, it looks like the things from, or the thing from Jeepers Creepers. The monster. Did you ever see that show? If you didn't, I don't blame you. It was really not. Don't watch.
Don't watch it.
But-
Okay.
Okay, effort now. Let's try to really just space ourselves back into the game here, Valdez. Okay.
Okay.
As Sylas now up in top lane. So this is what I was talking about before we cut to the break, where now Sylas is going to be very safe up in top, able to farm very easy. And so Irelia walked away from this with about a 50 CS advantage, okay? And she's now moving towards the Infernal Dragon, and this isn't a team fight that T1 realistically are going to be able to take. They're shoved in bot lane. Azir is able to move first, but Trundle, you can see pings going down onto the Raptor camp. It seems like they are very content to just give it up. Now, look at Ikssu right here. He has a giant wave that is coming in. Now, fortunately for Canna, this is one of the champions that he can still actually fight with, given that they both are still the same level. But Azir and Trundle now moving up. They moved over a ward, though, so that's going to foil their plans.
That they did. And we are back in game. This feels weird. I don't know. We were we were podcasting for so... No. Solved. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we should be good to go in that case.
Well, I think that what they're really doing is they're trying to really stretch it to the point that if this was a 3-game series, we are going to end right on time. And
they're like, no, they can't get away that easy.
They can't get away this fast.
We need to keep them here until the end of a typical 3-game series.
All right.
All right,
Ikssu, try
coming in.
Oh, the mad life!
Oh, that's gonna fail. He tried to ult himself. That was kind of sad.
That was a really good move by Canna. He tried to make the width of the fake ram basically account for both options of Ikssu.
It was
and
perfect.
in doing so, was able to actually hit the flash. There was a way for Ikssu to outplay that, but wasn't quite able to in the end. So really nice maneuver there by Canna. And honestly, this game is looking very different than it did pre-pause, and that has to feel bad if you're APK. And so now the question is that where is their mental fortitude going to be at? Right now they have a little bit over a 1,000 gold lead. They have an Infernal Dragon too. However, Ocean Dragon coming up in this game is going to be really high priority for both of these teams, but there's no neutral objective available on the map anymore. There's no more turret plates, which means that it's going to be really hard for APK to accelerate a lead now. They have no siege potential, no sort of realistic pick potential, given that there's no reason to move into the rivers, right? Why would anyone face check an Elise or a Nautilus at this point of the game? So we're going to enter the lull state, the ping pong phase, and T1 are just going to coast into an enormously strong mid game. And you can just see Canna accounting for both options.
This guy got an A+ in geometry, man. He knew exactly where to place that. We had Azir use his ultimate, and I suppose the Ornn flashed away. He doesn't have flash right now, so he changed it over to something else, perhaps. I don't know. But either way, we do have effort in a kind of a rough spot. He's got Canna with him now, going for the double knockup onto two of them. Flashing over the wall here is Canna, considering continuing on the chase. He is going for it. He doesn't give a damn right now. Gonna get the knockup, and Canna is gonna get another kill here. As he is gonna pay for it, though, as finally Ikssu able to line that one up. And meanwhile, up on the top side, we have a pause.
Penelope Pauser over here. I don't know what is going on in this series. Always pausing Korea. Okay, that is what APK stands for.
Korea.
That's exactly what it stands for.
Let me try something.
소환사 한 명이 게임을 종료했습니다.
Did that work?
That was so bad, Ikssu just left the game. It was like you're on Team Voice with them.
That's me losing my mind slowly as this game goes to another pause. Oh, good, we got a replay.
We're gonna go back to the replay here. A much greater time.
He tried to.
Alright, now let me break it down for you here. So Nautilus pressed the Q, followed by the W and the E, and in doing so, initiated a sequence of events that was then followed up by T1 Canna who then also pressed some of his buttons on his keyboard located on the left-hand side, managed to get the knockup on the avatar character that was the Nautilus before being knocked up himself, and then eventually brought down by the Kaisa.
Okay. All right. I mean, sure.
Not false.
Whatever. Well said. Well said. Canna is playing he's playing really well, to be honest. Him and Ellim together are a couple of young talents that I'm just really surprised that T1 is so good at scouting talent and then developing them into these kinds of players. I mean, they look great in this match. Leps, right?
We need to break the fourth wall here. Okay. So we're not sure when the VCR is going to be ready, but Valdez here actually would like to answer questions from chat. And apparently...
Oh, it seems like the game is ready. Sorry about that. We're going to have to cut that to another time. Here we go.
It seems like when we threaten things
I'm not
like
even lying. No questions from chat.
Alright, hold on. We're just waiting for a pause.
Don't even...
Just give it a bit of time. It's coming.
He would have paused by now, right?
Soon.
Look at him. He's running around. He's like testing his buttons. It was Iksu's laggy computer, right? Alright.
Yeah, what?
Break down the... break this down.
Okay. So what ended up happening here is Ikssu comes in, finds effort, and kills him. I'll send you my invoice on PayPal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, LS. We'll cut back to you shortly. And anyway, Faker killed Secret.
I'm totally losing it.
When you go on an hour and a half pause, stuff seems to go out the window. It's just, it's inevitable.
Oh, the game froze for a second.
You got baited, man.
My heart stopped. All right.
My heart jumped. It skipped a beat. I was ready. I was ready for the podcast again.
All right. So, let's see. Let's see what ended up happening let's see what's going to end up happening as we are now waiting on Ocean Dragon is coming up here shortly. You can see Elise with Oblivion Orb plus Sork Pen Boots, able to deal virtually true damage onto the Azir as well as the MF, depending on if she's going to end up getting any sort of MR later. Obviously Taric is there, so you have to keep that in mind. And the Ocean Drake might just actually be given up by T1 as Sylas does recall.
나이스 큐 빠졌고 노플이야 솔직히 놔두라
And
Give it to me, give it to me.
이거 이제 미드 막을 생각하자 전령으로
Faker's, he wants the kills. He said he wanted more assists and more deaths in the upcoming games, as you guys saw on the video we had of him, but that's not true. He says, give me the kill. To be fair, I think it was between him and Ellim, so obviously you wanna scale up your Azir and not your Trundle. The Trundle, he's got pretty much all the items he has. I mean, or he needs. He has stopwatch, and that's it. That's all you need. As Cover was thinking about going for a flank, it didn't really pan out though.
so the scary thing about this is that Azir has his 2.5 completed core items. Irelia is honestly having a bit of an identity crisis. Build-A-Bear Workshop in her inventory means that this could get a little bit ugly. Abyssal Mask completed for the Ornn, but not the Sunfire Cape. T1's actually just going to raise the mid-tier 1 turret. And we're not going to have a team fight breakout, it seems. Perhaps they're thinking about...
Ooh, flashing away from that one as Faker tried to get on in there, and the bullet time will come out. That's a huge amount of damage. A big knockup there from the Sylas stolen depth charge as they are fighting front to back with the Taric ultimate, and will be able to pick up 1 kill. Can we make it
Aurelia.
2? Ooh, not quite.
Aurelia's just AFK in bot lane right now. Only has a Blade of the Ruin King and a Phage, so not a whole lot of damage. No teleport either on cover. He's going to have to walk through mid lane here. Take a couple of turret shots. Baron has been started. And Aurelia will have Vanguard's Edge when she gets in here. I don't know what APK is going to do. Flawless needs to steal this.
Try
He's
to
not
get
going
in there.
to.
The stopwatch from Secret. Not good enough to save his life as Canna over here trying to zone them out. Should be successful even if he loses his own life. That will be Baron. Going down to SKT here at 20 minutes and a half. As you can see, Flawless looking for the follow-up here, but they're relatively tanky. Outside of Faker. Flawless waiting for that one. He is just going to get punished.
Up the water spout. Goes the Elise. And the score 6-9 right now as T1 is really on top here. Inside of this game, they did give over the Ocean Dragon, but Faker, you can see in this replay, he tries to go for the Shurima Shuffle onto Hybrid, stands his ground, and then with the bullet time and all the other damage, they know Aurelia is down in the bot lane. And with the Taric ultimate, they just ignore the turret. And remember, APK's team composition is so wonky. It doesn't really do anything. The Aurelia is the centerpiece of it all. And so in straight up team fights and even weird, awkward disengages like that, it's just going to look very disjointed. Here in the Baron, you know APK trying to come up. They have to do something. They don't want to just give over the Baron. Ends up going T1's way. I'm not sure what they're supposed to do anymore inside of this game.
Well, they're not supposed to do this. I mean, this is just greedy. I mean, you're not gonna pick up off Faker, even if you catch him in a cocoon. With 4 members there and you're alone, half health as Elise. It's just not gonna happen. And that's just gonna be another kill. It's essentially gifted over to T1 as after all the delays, I mean, T1 just say, okay, well, I guess we're going to win now. And it's totally turned on its head. Faker's 4-0-1. And he's really scaling fast on that Azir.
And almost 3 items completed on the Azir Sylas. Zanya's Hourglass Proto Belt. They're shoving in mid lane. They're only up 1,000 gold, but it can't be understated how far ahead they are when you factor in the team composition. And then another thing that you can also consider is that there's no real way for APK to resist these pushes. They have no wave clear.
Oh boy, Secret just in the front. You can see how desperately he's trying to get something going. That's another nice knockup from Ikssu. This is so much damage. Oh, big knockup though, as he's gonna catch 2 in the front. Faker still is going to be safe here, but it looks like he will be the only one as Canna is going on an assassination mission in the backside. Couldn't save the president. Another big knockup from Ikssu. Really playing this quite well as exhausts over the wall. Faker is gonna outplay it as they do have the damage to take out Hybrid. Ikssu looks like he is going to live, which puts a bit of a anticlimactic ending to that one, but a really nice play from Canna and Faker to secure that kill.
We take a look at how this all starts up. It's with the Ornn ultimate. Nautilus does get his ultimate off, and honestly, a beautiful Ornn ult out of Ikssu. 4-man knockup. The Ornn ult stun, giving Aurelia the opening that she needed. Flawless tries to buy as much time over the edge as he can. Hybrid dealing lots of damage on the Kaisa in the backline. Faker looked like he wasn't sure if he could get back into this. Eventually, he does come over. Canna misses the latch on, so that was 2 in a row that he's going to end up missing. Faker with the big outplay, able to bring down Hybrid, and had that hit, yes, Ikssu would have died as well. It would have ended up being an ace. But at the end of it all, almost Rabadon's Death Cap now is going to be completed on the Azir. However, 2 major core items just came in for Aurelia. Black Cleaver and Wit's End has been picked up for her. And Ornn is level 13, so 1 more level, probably going to be able to give over the Might of the Ruin King, I would assume, to cover on that Aurelia. It's going to be a while until anyone else actually has an ornament, though. And APK, if they can burst this down, they'll bring the game to Soul Point.
Yeah, the rest of T1 was just chasing the Aurelia. and they almost caught her, but the pillar for some reason wasn't able to pin her up against the wall, excuse me. So it was just all for naught, kind of. They just don't even fight at the Ocean Drake. I think they could have easily just zoned her away and then gone straight into Ocean and been just fine. But either way, it's not going to be the Soul just yet. This will be one away from the Soul, so T1 still have a bit of time to, you know, to go until this 4 minutes will be burned down, as the Baron is also going to come up here in a minute.
The Baron is coming up. Rabadon's Death Cap completed now for Faker. Some control wards also picked up on the side of T1. Looks like Luden's Echo is actually going to be the third item of choice for Canna. APK. Now, remember, we talked about this way earlier on. The Elise and the Nautilus, this is what their comp ends up devolving into, is some sort of a pit comp.
They're going to turn this one around, though. The Taric ultimate is so good at doing this. Stone Plate trying to help out Secret. He is going to live. Oh, the Subjugate, as you mentioned, is going to take him down. Canna finding the leash that time around, but here's cover, getting into that backline, but immediately just gets melted
Faker
underneath the bullet
yet.
time. Yeah, Faker's looking for more. He's going for this. Will at least get the one. Hybrid gets baited into this. Nice try, actually. He is going to take out one, but it is going to mean his demise. He gets the shutdown onto Faker, but goes down himself.
So that was actually really good mouse and camera control out of Hybrid. The maneuver that I did, that he just did at the end there to bring down Faker at the end, trying to make the most out of the situation. You can see in live cam, Baron is going the way of T1. I don't believe APK can stop it. In the replay, Subjugate ends up bringing down Secret. Really good positioning by T1 approaching the fog of war. They use deductive reasoning. No, okay, they could be in this brush. If they are, we want Trundle in the front line in the event that they try to make a pick-off, and they approach it as such. And right here, pay attention to Hybrid. His screen, he shoots all the way up. I would actually be really interested in seeing the pro view on that play, just to see his mouse and camera control on it all, because that was kind of quick thinking. He ended up trying to do the most that he possibly could, even though it still meant T1 wins the fight, they get the Baron.
Yeah, Hybrid definitely surprising and impressed us here in this first game, or second game, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, he's pretty fed. He's picked up the Molten Edge now, and he's just chilling back, 6-2-2. We've seen Kaisa's carry before, but it is going to be a bit of a tall ask here up against many fed members. On the side of T1, you got the Azir, Sylas, and the MF. All with tons of items, great KDAs, and will be looking to do an insane amount of damage, so she has to have some pretty insane control. But for the next fight, Hybrid is not going to have the flash, at least, unless T1 were able to force this really fast.
Minute and a half until that Ocean Soul. If they could get to it, I would say there's a chance that they could win. This is actually such a gross team compositional gap between the two that I think even with Ocean Soul, T1 is actually still favored in fights, which is, I don't know how many times I could ever say something like that.
Yeah. Well, Canna's going to steal that Ram. He's not going to use it here just yet. You can see that APK has backed off of the top inhibitor. Just going to give that one away on the second Baron push of the game. Say, sure, go ahead and take that. T1 now a large amount in the lead, over 5,000 gold, and will be looking to pick up some items right before the Ocean Drake comes up to slowly take these Drakes away. No way that they let APK have this Ocean Soul.
30 seconds until it does spawn, and all that T1 ends up doing is buying and delaying anything meaningful from happening, probably until they get another Baron. So we are very, very far away from Elder Dragon being able to come up. And this is a little bit dicey. I mean, Flawless, he can go for the all-in steal, and if he gets it, it will be quite good for APK. They're going to be able to hang on. Now you can see T1 are the ones setting up. Hybrid checks the brush. Trundle Pillar. Honestly, a little bit overzealous there.
I mean, you can imagine a world just based on what you were saying. The Elise gets in there, steals it away, and it's 5-on-4, and then T1, maybe they push in 5v4, they take an inhibitor, but I don't think they can end the game. And then from there, but they're not going to go for the steal, actually. They're just going to go for the straight-up get of the Dragon, but T1 are trying to fight 5v4, but it's not really working out. The Kaisa is going to get in the backline, but the bullet time is so good, taking out the Ornn, and there's Faker trying to go for the sacrifice in the backline, but he is going to go down. But it's okay, he sacrificed his life and gave the double kill over to Teddy, as T1 should look to push to end the game now.
And, I mean, the scary thing is, though, is that if somehow APK can hang on through some miracle, they will have a legitimate chance in this. Now, Teddy is going to come over, he's going to tap the turret, and he's hitting it.
Try to end this, but I don't think that they can. Look at Secret just get kited down, and that is going to be the end of that turret, and they're just going to casually pick up a couple more kills on their way to the victory. T1 will pick up this 2-0 as Ellim is just dancing in their face, and down will go the Nexus. GG. T1, we come back from the 80